Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Alterra, headquarters of the mad capitalists. This evening, we have, well, something of a treat for you tonight. It is an epilogue. As our audience is no doubt aware, last week we finished up the main headquarters of the mad capitalist campaign, and tonight is Epilogue 1, which the players have all agreed will be Dion's epilogue. It's Dion's date with Destiny. I'm your host and games master, James Robertson, and joining me, the ever ready Ben, the everlasting Bob,
You say ever ready.
the everyman Neil, the effervescent TR, and ever the thorn in my side, Alex.
Oh God, you're not doing that, are you?
Oh, I love
I
you, I think.
I recognize.
So glad I rushed home.
He's
I'm just feeling bubbly.
Our characters start having long been apart from each other, having spent a year messing around, making their way downtown, walking fast, and so on and so forth. They have been up to much, and much will be explored over the course of the next few epilogues. But tonight, they find themselves, well, Dion, a few weeks ago, especially, happening more and more frequently, found himself on the edge of a life and death experience more than once. After a few narrow escapes, joining the legendary Hunters League in Sigil, he took on a massive prize indeed. He decided to try and solo a Goristro. But making his way into the Goristro's lair, a labyrinthine maze, he found himself quickly becoming lost, for the walls themselves began to shift and twist upon themselves. And only when he was finally cornered by the foul fiend, suddenly an arrow, out of the darkness, lodged itself in the brain of the Goristro, and it collapsed dead before him, attached to the note, "You're next." Eventually, Dion escaped the maze, due to, in part, the help of his familiar, an imp named, I didn't think of a name for him, Dangleberry. There you go. Due in part to Dangleberry. He made his way back to the third layer of Brightside Towers and put out the call for his old allies in Adventurers Wanted to join him once more. And we find ourselves back at the entrance to that very labyrinth. The air is dark, foul, and dense, undisturbed. Possibly for years, it would seem. You had to make your way deep below even the sewers of Sigil, lower even than your most recent fight with the Hez Lord's champion.
Why is it we always end up in sewers?
But it is dark. It is dreary. But also dusty. There's an ominous pricking feeling at the back of your neck. You feel like you're being watched, but that's impossible. There's nothing around. You've seen nothing. The place is eerily deserted. You stand at the juncture, the turning point. There are no torches, no lights at all in the labyrinth beyond. And perhaps most disheartening of all, Dion, you hear a faint sort of coming from the depths of the maze.
I hope that Giblet fellow is not back.
Well, I didn't hear him before.
What would you like to do? You know you're looking for clues as to who your unknown assailant might be. They may even have a base somewhere in this maze, but you have never met them. You don't know who they might be. This is your sort of starting point.
I'm going to look for footprints or any indication that someone or something could have come through this area and which direction they lead.
Roll me a survival check, please.
Survival.
Yes. What's everyone else doing while Dion begins just reacquainting himself with the terrain, moving around it, sweeping dust away, cobwebs, lighting a torch, I assume, because even with your dark vision, it's still... What's everyone else doing?
Been a while, hasn't it?
It has, yes. How have you been doing?
Pretty well. Level 5's looking nice, but something a little off.
I've not been up to visit for a while. How's it looking? What do you mean off?
Don't know quite yet. I came to help Dion. It seemed kind of urgent.
Yeah, his message was a bit raggedy. It seemed like people were after him, and yeah.
Has anyone seen Junkrat in a while?
I mean, my sister's not seen him either, so I'm assuming not. I mean,
met with an accident. That would be
in all likelihood, he probably blew himself up.
Seems very likely. He was a bit of an incompetent type.
Dion, you do your best to remain focused on your task while your party discuss not only yourself but your previous party members. You can make out a sort of trail of blood. You were slowly sort of oozing blood yourself, making your escape, having been essentially chased down and injured multiple times by various demons and various denizens of this maze. You can definitely see the trail of blood from where you left. It stretches out into the darkness in this direction.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll remind for the stream and also for Alex, who wasn't here at the time, each square is 100 feet.
100 feet.
Yes.
I didn't want to say anything, but who's your new friend, Dion?
This is Dangleberry, my trusty imp.
So you question the imp, but not this bloody great ghoul behind me.
I was busy.
Oh!
The ghouls just sort of standing there. It's eyeing you all up, just sort of licking its gnarled sort of teeth, this long, elongated tongue.
I know I'm fairly perceptive, but I was a bit distracted by the little red fellow.
Yeah,
He's
this
quite
is Greg.
impressive muscles.
This is Greg. one of three.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
I feel like, Black, Alex, you seem to be the only ones with... no, Alex. Bellman. You seem to be the only one without friends and followers. Well, you have friends, obviously, but followers.
Acquaintances, maybe. Acquaintances.
I have many people who are part of the league.
League?
Many people. Yes.
What league?
League. The Kobold Protection League.
Did Junkrat join by any chance, that kobold?
No, I haven't seen him. But he is always welcome. My
The eerie
red-skinned brother.
silence, that stretches on the hundreds, possibly thousands of feet into the darkness of this cavernous maze, is broken by another much louder than before, and you can quite clearly hear a footsteps of some enormous lumbering creature heading in your direction. Or certainly heading in this direction.
Did you encounter any large creatures whilst you were here last?
Yes, but someone else killed the Guitar Sorrow.
Goristro.
The Goristro.
What are we doing, fellas?
Uh,
Neil, you have the trail leads in this general direction. You will say you've gone about 60 feet down. It extends a couple hundred feet, but definitely in that direction.
They'll keep heading in that direction.
All right.
Yeah.
everyone keep their eyes out.
As you begin to head down that way, I assume licing your way?
Yeah.
As you enter into the maze, the darkness, the sort of buzzing, it becomes significantly more. You feel the darkness encroach upon you as you make your way further into the maze. As you near the sort of end of the blood trail that you can see, Dion, that's when you, peering into the gloom, see reflected in the light of your torch, but still a couple hundred feet away, a creature of just nightmare. You thought you'd seen the last of it. It is a massive, shambling, decaying in places, clearly some sort of reanimated corpse of a demon, which, Pizzazz, you know this to be impossible. Most demons turn into sludge when they die, or they explode. They do something. Clearly, some sort of lingering will has reanimated its corpse, has kept it together, some force. But it is approaching you, and you can quite clearly make it out. But you can also see near at hand there is a turning up and to the right. And as you see the demon, it sees you. It lets out a long and begins charging at you. What do? You have a split second to react. Do you turn? Do you turn right? Do you run away? What are you doing?
I will attempt to attack, because I think he would start to follow us if we just turned.
All right. Yeah. Roll an attack roll. What's everyone else doing while Dion fires at this creature that's just barreling towards you?
What's this creature defined as, James?
An undead.
Undead, okay. Cheers.
I will dodge.
All right.
I will move up towards the door and hold a sacred flame when it gets in 60 feet of me.
Okay. Oh yeah, and get to the back of the party. I'm way at the back.
Yeah, it will run past you. It seems to be gunning only for Dion. It seems to have locked eyes with him.
Okay, then it gets sacred flamed as it goes past.
You watch as its flesh sears. It seemingly pays no mind to the radiant damage. It takes the damage, yes, but it just keeps running. It roars as it charges past you. Dion, a 19
Yes.
hits. Takes that damage. and it keeps running at you. Everyone else, what are you doing? There is room enough for you to just dodge to the side and try and or to make your way up and to the right or to the north rather. With
how far
Black.
away is the creature at the moment?
It is. What's his movement speed? It is 80 feet away currently.
80.
You are 20 feet from the turning.
Okay.
Here's Dion.
I am going to firebolt it.
Can
Okay.
I, before he firebolts it, let me give you a hand with that one and cast Elemental Bane.
Yeah.
So,
Just a round of spell casting as all of you just begin to weave arcane sigils in the air. You notice, in fact, that as you do so, the magic down here seems to almost like when you ignite a lighter, when there's too much oxygen, there are just an insane amount of crackling sparks as you cast these spells. Something about the magic down here, it seems heightened in power.
that's odd.
Constitution save. Plus 13. Makes it, I'm afraid. You watch as the fire seems to do more damage than you were expecting.
Can you, James, just for future, because you wouldn't have known, I've gone into Bard, so could you just give me the final number, but pause before you say if we make it or not, so I can choose if I'm going to do various bits and pieces.
Okay.
I should have.
That's cool.
That'd be great.
Are you... That's a 3rd level Bard thing, I believe, though, right?
Yes, third level Bard thing, but I've got 3 levels of Bard, so but I'm not going to count words that. If you said it was a 30, you said 30.
13 plus 9 is 22.
And he's...
No,
What's your DC, Pizzazz? Would I know?
my DC is 17. It's
no, I will not count words that. I'm not
your own DC is around about probably the same as Pizzazz's, roughly. You watch as it takes this damage. Having little effect, it continues to charge. It's going to gore Dion, while the rest of you just dodge out of the way. And it's going to attack. So that is a 21 to hit you, Neil.
I think that hits. Yeah, it hits.
Okay. Alex, were you doing anything?
No, we're going to see
way.
what sort of damage this dude does. Thank you. No.
Okay. All right. Well,
maybe just for sort of keeping us going, if you give me a couple of seconds, I will tell you if I'm going to do it or not, just to keep us moving.
Okay.
If that works for you.
So you take 35 points of damage.
Okay.
And make a strength saving throw, please. Holy crap. Yeah, you grab this undead creature by the horns, and despite the fact it gores you right in the chest, you grimace and twist it, and it falls to the ground at your side, having charged right past you and right past the hole. It is prone. The way beyond from where it came is free and clear. The way to the north is free and clear. What are you doing? You have maybe a couple of seconds before it gets on its feet. But at the same time as you watch as the Goristro just collapses to the ground, you see its wounds begin to heal, and you feel a deep rumbling in the earth around you. Lanwar, and is anyone a dwarf? Anyone a dwarf?
Isn't Belnin a dwarf?
No, he's a half elf. So just Lanwar, with your passive perception, you notice dust crumbling from the walls around you. and they seem to be almost undulating, moving somewhat.
That's very strange.
Would I be able to do an Arcana check on like the sparking of the magic?
Yes, of course. As you run from the Goristro, which way are you running? Everyone, please.
Should we run north or keep going straight?
You said the blood trail was past.
Heading north.
The blood trail at this point has disappeared.
It's
it was
sort of
this
petered
direction.
Did
Dion,
you say 30
straight
points
north.
of damage?
Well, let's get moving anyway.
James, was that 30 points of damage?
35 points of damage.
35. Good,
Yes.
cheers.
So you're heading to the north. If someone could control the thing. You watch as you run past this sort of wall area. The rock behind you begins to undulate and sort of morph almost. And as the Goristro turns and roars again and charges, a brick wall materializes behind you. You see like 2 points of horns in through the wall. But only like the very tips, and this thing's horns were about 10 foot long. You are, for all intents and purposes, sealed. You don't know where you are.
Was that a spell?
I'm not sure. Pizzazz is going to pull out a scroll of detect magic and cast it.
Okay.
Dion, the thing you were hunting, can it change the walls?
I'm not sure. I didn't see it do that last time.
The air is stale and thick here. And as you continue on through the darkness, it seems just absolute. Is anyone keeping track of where you have been? Because this is a labyrinthine maze.
That'll
Anyone?
be a no then.
No.
Okay. Cool. That just means more work for me as I as you move through the place. I'm gonna have to hide areas behind you.
Can I put hand on the wall and see if it feels anything like when I cast stone wall? If there's
roll a nature check for me, please, since you're
Oh, you know what then? While he's doing that, I'd take out one of my knitting needles, shove it into the wall and attach a piece of string to it.
Nice.
Ah.
That works.
I'll go classical with it.
Hope we've got enough wool.
You won't have that particular bit of string there because you didn't do it till just now. But
yeah,
you
would have started there.
Yeah.
That's fine.
With that nature check, it does look similar. Yeah, but it's almost like it's a chaotic sort of pulsing magic, which pizzazz as you concentrate on the detect magic spell. Aside from the magical items which you and your party carry with you, there is something in the walls. It's something in the earth as well, and in the air. The walls look to be almost look to be rippling somewhat. And as you look around the air, it's just. Do you know when you see dust in dust in sunbeams?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like when you stand up too fast and see spots before your eyes. It's that sort of like minuscule popping,
This is
like
good.
almost as if there's with an 18 Arcana. It's like there's Arcanite dust in the air.
It's gonna be even more annoying for me with the perception I have.
Guys, I think this whole place changes.
Yes, it feels like a bit of magic in that wall there, and keep on seeing
Oh,
dust.
there's magic. There's magic all around us. That dust is magic. I think it's like Arcanite dust. Not sure what kind of Arcanite at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's yellow, or we'd be seeing a lot more fizzling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are wearing rather amounts of magical gear, and we know
Yeah,
what.
we would have blown up as soon as we walked near this place.
But yes, it seems to suffuse the very air itself. And as you look up into the sky, the darkness above, the sort of great cavernous area that this maze looks to be in, it just seems to stretch on into the darkness for eternity. You've never seen anything like this on Sigil. It by all accounts shouldn't be here. This seems too big to just be concealed in a sewer somewhere.
I like your thinking there, Glack.
So, if there's looking at the Arcanite list, would it be copper Arcanite? Because that's the shifted Arcanite.
As you look around, tell you what, since you know what you're looking for now, roll me another Arcana check with advantage.
Advantage.
Can I give guidance as well?
He's already rolled. I would have allowed it before he
Yeah.
rolled. Yeah, with an 18, it's strange. It's like it's a mixture of different kinds. You take a second to focus in, and you swear you just see out of the corner of your eye just a flash of green, and over on your left hand side there's like a hint of almost sandy brown color. You sort of spend a second to sort of declutter your mind and look ahead, and it's almost like there's a purplish sort of fleck that just sort of drifts past your face. It's
almost
strange, but there is copper in there as well. So copper, purple, green, and brown that you can see.
I think this might be. Yeah, I think this might be like a special projects area.
Oh, another one. Look out for frozen things. That might also explain our little friend out there. He seemed unnatural.
As you've been standing there sort of talking about it, you take a second at this point to look round and to sort of keep an ear out for the creature, and you hear it sort of low, just sort of moving away, clearly searching for some way to reach you, but it's almost like and pizzazz again. It's you're aware of minotaurs and you're all aware of fiends, having fought a bunch of them, but you yourself, having researched a lot, are aware that Goristros and minotaurs often can navigate labyrinths with unerring ease, but it's like this one in its undeath has almost forgotten some of that. It's like it's driven by some other purpose or being controlled somehow.
And also noticed that it seemed to attack Dion and ignored the rest of us.
Yes.
When I look at Dion, is there any strange kind of magic emanating from him that would give off like a tracking sort of magic sort of thing?
Ooh, there's no sort of strange magic emanating off of him.
Or anything
The
he's carrying?
the only thing different that you can think of is his familiar that's just sort of floating along, grumbling slightly, just carrying a backpack that looks so comically full of all Dion's shit, just sort of slung over his back. You can see bits of broken sort of gym equipment, arrows. You see like a sticker, Brightside ink on it. Yeah, Brightside U maybe might be on there.
Dion, how did you come by your little imp mate?
It was.
It is your familiar from the hunting club.
The hunting lodge I
It
was
is your
invited
sidekick.
to. I acquired him there.
Who was it that gave him to you, or did he just appear?
You were assigned him by the higher ups because you were a solo adventurer. You get a sidekick, Dion. You would know that.
Because I was on my own, the big bosses, or at least one of the big bosses, gave him to me to help me.
Right.
You got given a friend.
Oi,
Yes.
Dingleberry. Or Dangleberry, whatever your name is.
Yeah, it's Dangleberry. What do you want, Shorty? I call you Shorty because you're short.
Oh, fuck you. You're shorter than me.
Well, I'm flying, so fuck you.
I could fly if I wanted to.
Wow.
Why?
You're not.
Why would? Yeah, I don't want to. Why is this undead demon thing attacking Dion? He seems to be aiming specifically for him, and the only thing that's changed is you.
How the hell should I know? You know, I'm just a sidekick here.
You said you had a note that said you were next as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I got it in the pack right here. Let's see. Nope. No, that's an I. Hey, yeah, it's looking at you all. Here it is, boss. Nope. Saying you're next.
Anyone recognise his handwriting?
No, you wouldn't. No one would. You would have no reason to. It is of no one you have ever met or seen the writing of. I'm afraid.
It was attached.
Surely then the note is the thing they're tracking.
An arrow?
Yes, it was attached to an arrow.
Well, I don't like how that undead well, firstly, how the fuck do you get an undead demon? Secondly, it seemed to be only going for Dion.
Have we done detect magic on that letter?
I've got detect magic running, so if there's anything magical about it, James would let me know.
Do you have that?
There is nothing magical on the note.
You have the arrow at all?
Maybe. Bag of holding, arrow that killed that Minotaur guy. Yeah, here it is. Arrow of Minotaur slaying. It's what it is. Shit. These are rare, by the way. These are pretty rare.
I'm guessing it's part of a quiver.
Well, it's a magical arrow, so that doesn't really tell us much. Is there any tracking magic coming from the arrow?
Nope.
I'm gonna try locate object.
Okay.
See if it is part of a. If it's part of a quiver, I might be able to pick up where that quiver is.
That's within 1,000 feet, isn't it? So
yes.
The item in question is not within 1,000 feet of you.
Well, it's
the
not...
rest of these arrows.
Doesn't seem to be very nearby.
The wind whistles ominously through the labyrinthine corridors.
Maybe we need to move, and I can try that again. Maybe.
As you move up to this, junction, you notice a brick on the wall to your left, like sort of facing the junction, has a strange sort of open maw kind of effect to it. And as you get close to see, oh, what the hell is that? It opens in a grin and says, I knew you would return, Dion. If you can find your way to me, we will settle this once and for all.
What? Who?
Dion's visibly confused. I have no idea who or what that is.
Does he look familiar?
Looks like a magic mouth.
It is a magic mouth spell, yes, but that's...
Does he sound familiar to you?
Ooh.
No. Oh, does he?
He might. Roll me a history check, please.
Hi, Bart, we inspire him.
Yeah, what do you say or do to inspire him?
There I go. You really need to get this one, Dion. Think back.
14.
And he adds a d6.
If you want to.
If you want to. Yeah, you don't need to actually. It's available for you for a while.
Yeah.
It's for 10 minutes in game time.
Whoever put this magic mouth brick here knew we were coming.
It would appear so.
So that I highly doubt we're going to be able to ambush them. They're probably watching us. Is magic picking up any like arcane eyes or anything like
that? No arcane eyes, no invisible things. You just sort of expand your senses, and no, there's nothing. Apart from the magic mouth, obviously.
Am I getting any interference from the Arcanite in the air?
A little, but it's more like static than anything else. It's an annoyance.
Yeah.
It's like when you're trying to listen to 2 songs at once. You can focus on one, but you know.
Oh.
Right. Anyway, we've got 2 choices here. Either go straight on, or we can turn right here.
Inner moving. How long's that been since we moved?
Since you moved?
Yeah. Well, we moved up a little bit. How long? Because concentration for 10 minutes on the location object.
It's been less than 10 minutes. We'll say you get to this intersection. There is still like 5 minutes left for sure. I'll let you know, but yeah. Unless you just begin to charge through the place and get very lucky, it's not likely you'll locate it.
Still can't sense where this is from. We need to move. Any suggestions?
So there's the tunnel continues on into darkness in both directions.
North
and Glack, you're trailing your line of thread behind you. You're seemingly never ending ball of twine.
A bag of holding and a lot of knitting needles.
Yes, perfect.
Can we head
so to the north? Okay.
Why not?
As you head to the north, could I get just a very quick marching order? Just so I'm aware.
Probably somewhere in the middle for me.
Glack could probably be up
or
front.
scouting up the front. Yeah,
right.
Or scouting up the front.
I'll go.
I'll be at the front.
I'll go sort of near the front as well, just because I got pretty good perception.
All right.
Cool. Actually, why don't we put Pizzazz in the middle, and I'll bring up the back then, just in case, so I can hover off the back and see if anything's following us.
Me and Lan are side by side at the front.
So Glack and Lan and Dion near the front, while you, as you make your way northwards, you arrive at another intersection, one heading north slightly, and then seeming to turn somewhat as you just sort of glance around the corner, and one heading off to the east, and then to the north.
Can I peek around this corner to see if I can see anything?
Yeah, sure. As you head to the north, roll me. No, actually, yeah, you just went. You suddenly feel below you a tick, and as you look down, you see a glass. It's crazy. It's like a glass thread that you've just run through. Snap, and you just hear a. And the rest of you in that sort of area all just look up in time to see these nozzles seem to spray from the three sections, the three parts of this intersection, this purplish vapor into your face and all around you. And though you try to just sort of breathe in and stop yourself from inhaling it, it seems to seep into your skin. And you feel something enter your bloodstream. Everyone needs to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Can I have been far enough off the back that I wasn't in this mist? Which I said I was off the back, making sure we weren't being followed.
How far back?
I would have been guessing about... I'm obviously thinking about corners, but I've got 50 feet of movement, so I would be comfortably 25 feet off the back, and then if they went around a corner, I'd be running to catch them up. So let's say 25 feet off Pizzazz.
That's fine. It fills up this entire square, which, as I mentioned, is 100 feet.
Oh, it's 100 feet, isn't it? Crikey, Randall. Constitution saving throw.
Please.
Ooh, that'll do.
Okay, not bad. Okay.
What about Dangleberry? Or will he not be affected?
He's fine. He rolled a nat 20. As you begin just sort of coughing, it seeps into your eyes, up your nose, your mouth. You just feel yourselves being enveloped by this purplish mist. And as it begins to clear, it seems to affect some of you more than others. Dion, especially, which is quite bad luck, considering what this trap is. As it begins to sort of clear and you begin to gain your bearings again, it just sort of sinks into the ground and dissipates. Another magic mouth activates on this corner here. Yeah?
Can I stop you there a moment, James?
Yeah, what's up?
I was going to say I thought I was immune to poisons, but I was
This is not a poison.
thinking of magical plants.
Yeah, that's okay, Neil. Another magic mouth activates right on this corner, and you hear that same familiar voice. Familiar yet at the same time, just sort of pure darkness. The gas you've just inhaled is a neurotoxin, and will work. Some might say it is quick, some might say it is slow. What is 8 hours? It's a blink of an eye to one as long-lived as Brightside or a demon lord. You have 8 hours to find me, for I and I alone possess antidotes. Good luck. A little incentive for you to move faster.
You say that, and
shuts off.
He says that, but I'm an alchemist.
I mean, is it if it's not a poison, is it a disease?
It is a toxin. It's a neurotoxin. It is not a poison that affects the blood. It affects the brain. It is not a thing that you can be immune to because you're a monk, I'm afraid.
Oh, I mean, the one chance to get to use immunity to poison and disease.
Sorry.
I don't know if this will make a difference, James, but I have advantage made to avoid or resist traps.
Well, roll advantage then. Roll again for me, please.
You need to roll again.
See if you roll higher than a 14. So, with that in mind, what's everyone's thoughts now?
Remember, you have a bardic inspiration if you want to use it. Dion, as well.
This would be getting towards the end of the 10 minutes.
So if you get close to a decent roll, you might want to use it.
Ran out by now then.
Yes, afraid so. No, that's...
No,
that's
you've already rolled once.
just as bad. So what is the plan? You feel... so everyone who rolled below a 20 begins to feel the effects almost immediately.
I shout up to
I was
the
going
front.
to use the
Can our scouts do
bardic
some effective
inspiration.
scouting, please? You won't make it, Dion. You only got the 12. You can't roll with advantage when you've already rolled once, I'm afraid.
If you roll a 6, you'll make it.
Yeah, and it's a d6, so I wouldn't bother. Did you say it's almost the end of 10 minutes?
It's almost at the end of 10 minutes, yes.
Or roll then, Dion, go for it. Roll it. Roll your d6. Oh.
Sadly, you hear Bellman's newly minted bardic work in your head, and you just think that was rubbish. As you inhale more of the poison and begin to cough and splutter even worse than before.
That was the plan.
Can I grab a sample of this and sort of on the fly sort of start analysing it to try and figure out what it is and what it's doing to us?
It will take a little while to do that. It will take an hour of lab work, which you don't really have. You could probably wrangle something over a long rest without a lab, but that is 8 hours, so you'd be pretty much putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. One would imagine you wouldn't be as perceptive if you were trying to analyse that. We might need your perception as well.
So, what is the plan here?
So
the darkness...
I'm still going to take...
Nothing yet. Those of you who rolled below a 20, as I mentioned, you have... you'll find out when you do something.
I still want to have taken a sample to sort of...
Yeah. You can have a vial of... You have like a bellows, a hand pump bellows, and you have like a vial of this gas.
Can we do some scouting, please?
I agree.
I shout from the back.
Well, that's what we were
I did,
doing
and I discovered purple.
Who's good at seeing traps? We don't want any more traps.
I am.
Then you're ahead. I will be behind you.
Cheers, Dion. Thank you.
For being perceptive for you, looking for other things.
Glad you're a help.
I'm going to help Dion with spotting traps from now.
Alright.
Whilst we scout it. But which were we scouting? Neil.
We were looking northwards.
Yeah. Do you want to continue looking that way?
Yeah.
Alright. As you round this corner. The darkness extends yet further onwards, but to the south. To the west, however, you hear something. You can't quite put your finger on what it is, but it sounds familiar. There are strange aromas in the air now, and almost the sounds of laughter. and fun almost. Like a kind of festival, maybe. It's that sort of atmosphere for sure.
Right, whatever that noise is, I don't trust it.
What's everyone's favorite food?
Goblin nachos.
Goblin nachos. Black, you smell overloaded goblin nachos with kobold cheese and orc guacamole. I don't know. I'm making a fantasy. You smell fantasy nachos like Mama used to make.
A cobalt roast.
A kobold roast. You smell a kobold roast, my dude.
Tasty.
Anyone else? Just almost like drifting down this corridor towards you. It's almost cartoony. It's like 5 smell trails that almost lift you up into the air. Lan and Dion and Pizzazz, what are your favorite foods? Paint a picture for the audience.
I think that Lan, being a druid, he enjoys the bounty of the actual land, so any sort of crops and fruits and...
Yeah, you smell a smorgasbord of fruit and veg, and quite possibly grilled asparagus. Delicious.
For
Dion?
Dion, it's nice spit roasted game beast.
Yeah, you
nice
smell
glaze on it.
Yeah, you smell a roast beast, roasting on an open fire. You don't know what the beast is, but it smells so good. And finally, Pizzazz.
It would be a hot smoke cooked brisket with all the seasonings.
Delish.
Does anyone smell that? It's like a fresh fruit and...
I don't smell any fruit,
grilled
fresh
asparagus.
or otherwise.
I
smell a nice meat.
Yeah, me too. Really nice meat.
I smell a delicious type of meat. I can't wonder which type it is.
Meat? What are you on about?
Yes.
Yeah, if we're all smelling different things, I don't trust that.
Everyone, then actually just Pizzazz, roll a perception check for me. Dangleberry says, "What are you talking about? I smell burning noids." just like Grandpa Desmodius used to make.
Both Pizzazz and Lan have just went 19.
Pizzazz, sort of underlying to it all. You can also make out like a dessert almost. It's like it's that sort of sickly sweet syrupy smell that you get on the syrup sauces that you get for ice cream, or the kind that you get on top of like strawberry tarts. That sort of red, like just candy. That sort of smell of sweetness. It's actually real good, and you think maybe it might be the pineapple on the roast beast that you're all smelling. It might be something. It could just be dessert. You can smell desserts as well. But that's what you smell. That's what you smell in that direction. To the south, the darkness continues on.
We've already been hit with one trap already. I don't quite trust something that smells like everyone's...
Well, if everybody's smelling different things...
Hungry.
Favorites.
Can I use stillness of mind? Does that get rid of the smell for Glack?
Does that get rid of...
If it's if it's a charm effect of some kind?
Not quite yet. You're not charmed by the smell. It just smells delicious. It smells like home cooking.
In that case, I say we go for the food.
I go away from the food.
I vote for away from the food too.
Okay, that's 2-1.
I'm quite
as
hungry.
much
Food sounds
as I
good to
would-
me.
As much as I would like to eat that nice tender beast, I feel it's a bad idea.
I fear it's something a bit like temptation.
But nachos.
Your demon friend should know about that.
You'll get your nachos when we finished.
I will prepare a nice hero's feast for us all after this.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. So you want to go towards the laughing?
We'll continue. Where are we going?
Yeah, we'll go the.
It's laughing, smelling, darkness.
Well, we've still got your wool to backtrace if we can't find anything down that way. But we need to make a decision quickly.
I'm inclined to follow the laughter because it could be my dear friends trying to taunt us. So if we follow the laughing, it might lead us to them.
The laughing and smells seems to be coming from the same place. If that.
Oh right, sorry.
Sorry, it's like some sort of a food fest, basically, like a party.
Right.
People.
Okay.
It's the sounds of laughing, jokes. You can't make out voices.
A dinner
yet.
party. Sorry.
Yeah, it's someone's having a dinner or a party of some description.
It's very past.
I never got an invite, so move along.
But remember, keep an eye out on for traps.
I will.
Oh, it's disappointing. That was one of my favorite areas. As you move past it, however, everyone just roll me a flat d20.
Okay.
Oh, Pizzazz. Pizzazz, you, despite being the voice of reason, you just sort of feel a deep kind of come from your stomach. It's a noise that no one's stomach has ever made before, except in cartoons. But you feel it in your stomach. And
my stomach is basically saying brisket.
Yeah, you hear a.
Oh God, I don't like the looks of this.
and you just sort of pause for a second at the convention, and you just the aroma washes over you, and it's magnificent. It's a feast. The rest of your party over on the south. You feel it. You feel it almost invade your mind.
Lan, grab
Wisdom
me before
saving
I go
throw,
in.
please. Wisdom saving throw. As just the smells. This. It is a magical effect. Yes, so you have advantage being a gnome.
Wait, what?
On the way past, if I would have heard the noise from his stomach, could I put some of my pocket chicken in his mouth?
I would have given advantage if he didn't have advantage. Yeah. There's a close. What's the DC here? I think it's. Oh. Yes. So you. Sorry, plus 3, right? So yes. So you just make it. You just sort of feel. You feel so hungry, and you almost feel your knees go weak, and your feet begin to levitate off the ground somewhat as you just begin to smell the most delicious smells, all cascading around yourself. As you head into the darkness, and then it feels wrong. You feel it almost try and overpower your brain, like an intoxicant. And you remember, no, we have a time crunch. We can't stay even for dinner. And you yank yourself back, and your party run back and grab you. And as you move away, you hear the sounds of the laughter and sort of merriment begin to turn almost feral, like the luxuriant feast has suddenly become gluttonous, and and as you make your way further south, the sounds begin to fade. The laughter begins to fade.
I've got a feeling that if we went there, we probably would have been for dinner.
Yes, they would have had us for dinner, all right.
You make your way up this long corridor. There is a way off to your left, or it continues on into the darkness once more.
Guessing we've not spotted any traps in our reverse.
There have been actually very few traps. As you reach this corner, however, there's another one of those magic mouths, and as you get close enough, it sort of pipes up. You're running out of time. Best to hurry up. I can't wait all day. Just appears to be mocking you.
Can I say in the headset to people, who's the most intimidating here? I think we should give this blighter, this fellow, a bit of a incentive to find us.
Yeah, the magic mouths, they're not. He's not actually talking through them. The way they work is he sets a message and then puts them down and something will trigger them. So I don't think we're actually running out. Yeah, I don't think we're actually running out of time. I think he's just playing head games with us.
So he sat at his bench, spoke into a couple of stones, and then walked around to put stones in place.
Basically,
that's a bit sad. It's a little bit sad.
Can anyone
got a lot of time.
Bored.
Shall I try another locate? Or does anyone else have locate object? We should try and ping him as much as we can. Have we moved?
I do not have it.
Have we moved a decent distance that we would be nearing?
Yeah, you've traveled. Yeah, you've traveled about 5,000, about 2,000 feet almost since your last sort of casting of it.
I will cast it again.
I will say, remember that if it is blocked by, I believe it's 1 foot of stone or wood, something like that. So unless it's at the far end of this corridor here, it is unlikely that you will find it. I'll just say that rather than you continuing to spend all your spell slots.
Okay. All right.
It was a neat idea though, and yeah, perhaps if you do get closer and get lucky, and maybe.
How do I have of that? Got another 2, so I can hold off for now.
But for now, your next decision is to head to the north, continue north, or to head to the west.
Which side was the mouth laid on?
It was just sort of on this corner, so that no matter which way you went, to the north or to the it's on the corner there.
Okay.
So that it would buzz as you passed it.
Can I suggest from the back, as we did quite successfully? Was it one of our previous adventures over a year ago now? Of course. Can we send some speedy people, maybe just up a corridor a little bit to see what they see and see if we can start to work out what might be the best direction? Obviously staying close, we're not splitting the party, we're just scouting a bit further so we can speed ourselves up a bit.
Yeah, I want to do an investigation check to see if I can see anything, maybe trails or anything to give.
That would be Yeah, an investigation to try and locate a trail, and then it would be a separate survival check to sort of follow the trail so you don't lose it. But it's an investigation, to pick one up.
I'm gonna see
Glack
if I can...
would leg it that way, but
Glack's-
run up up the wall onto the ceiling and run across the ceiling.
How's your investigation, Bob?
Insight.
Because
So I've got 9.
Investigation.
I've got 9 plus advantage.
I've got
You know,
10, no advantage.
Right.
no advantage. What have you got, Bob?
Probably want to use better for investigation then.
Probably
I think-
you, because you've got advantage, you've got a higher chance of rolling higher.
I mean, my
There you go. 21 on both sides.
passive investigation's a 19. But...
A 21. There is some sort of trail. It's along the floor to the north. There is some sort of trail. You can't be sure what it is at this distance, but it's like with the 21, you do find almost a single boot print, just a leather sort of boot print, in the midst of a bunch of like purplish dust, almost.
Now I've found it. Can I point that out to? I'm going to presume Dion has probably got the best survival, and so I be very close to obviously point it out and show him what he's trying to follow, and then go, Dion, sniffer dog, follow.
I go up and have a look at the footprint.
I presume you've got decent survival, have you, Neil? Or Dion?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like just a humanoid, fairly large, but the depth indicates someone with a bit of weight, but still fairly lithe.
I'll give him guidance
on their feet.
I'll give him guidance on that roll.
All right, yeah. Roll your roll survival check, please, Dion.
Can you give me a second? Can you give me a second on that?
Oh,
I think I want to probably enhance ability. Let me just concentration up to an hour, and I'm going to enhance ability on Dion then, and enhance on
wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom checks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. So I want to. Can I cast that on him? And give him
of
advantage.
course. So roll again, Dion, and roll a d4 while you're at it. Meanwhile, Glack, you go to climb the wall, and you find you find as you run into this corridor and just begin to walk up the wall and just dash up it. As you continue on, the rest of you watch Glack begin to run up the wall, and after he gets about halfway up, he seems to almost run on the spot. But Glack, to you continue running upwards. The goal seems to be getting just ever so slightly closer, imperceptibly closer almost, and you continue running. And then as you glance back down at your allies, you see, you've hardly gone anything.
You okay there, Glack?
I don't seem to be moving. Can I turn back and walk back towards them?
Yeah, it's easier to get down. It's like it seems to be an almost mirage effect, you realize.
That's strange.
Okay.
I mean, you're wearing spider climb boots, are you not?
Nope, just a monk.
Oh, well, yeah, that's someone else.
But Dion with a 29, you can quite obviously make out the boot size. They're a heavy individual. The steps look to be fairly far apart, so they must be fairly tall. You'd say maybe 6'9", probably 6'10". The depth that it's been sort of ground into the dust, it was a little while ago, but there was definitely a set of footprints ran this way. You can make it out in the sort of purplish grit and dust that's lining this wall. And as you head on northwards, nothing bad seems to happen. You continue on until you reach this sort of intersection here, this sort of three-way intersection. There is a way to the east there's a way to the north and a way to the west. The way to the west does seem to be where the footprints are leading. However, there are further footprints you notice come out of there and back south towards you and then disappear. And there are yet more footprints heading north in that direction. So there's footprints that way. There are sets of footprints leading in here, and also footprints leading back the way you came as you get to this intersection. But there's a fairly large concentration around that entrance there.
The hunter, like yourself, wouldn't you want to lead people off their trail?
Not unless they reached either a dead end or saw something that they didn't like and started to try and get out of there as quick as they could. But whatever came over here was big and heavy and a while ago.
Anyone else's thoughts on all these different footprints as Dion has told us of?
Take it all the footprints are the same, James.
They are all the same, yes. Some, as you reach this sort of general area, some look fresher, but it's
Probably
fairly impossible to tell which.
Probably this dude hunting his last prey, I would imagine. Might be my guess. I think
So
we've got little to do but carry onwards.
There's more here, but there's...
So which way do you go?
But there's footprints in all directions. Who's the fastest out of us? Can scout a little bit up the north, and some of us go down to the south.
Would it not be a run Bell then?
One of the monks. I've got 50 certainly.
I've got 50.
Dash. So we could, but it's
I've
just a
got
100.
50,
We're
but
not
that's flying.
actually. We're not actually getting very far because obviously these boxes. So
yeah.
It's not really much difference in just us saying we scout a little bit or.
Yeah, you can say you scout, and I'll let you know what you see.
Cool. Can I maybe just scout? Can I actually? Are we in dim?
It is complete darkness, other than the torches you take with you.
Okay. I'll just go stealthy then, and then I will try and scout along to the west. Do you want a stealth roll?
Yes, please. Everyone else? What's everyone else doing? Well,
shouldn't be an advantage, but 22. Sorry.
Yes, it's fine.
But cool.
I'm gonna hold
22 and stealthily.
I'm gonna hold position just in case he needs help and ready.
You're playing as the base. Anyone heading north? Or
you fancy heading off down there?
I'm trying to describe to Pizzazz what the mirage effect was like down this bit. Him being more of a magic boy than Glack.
Go on, Dion. Go do some scouting. Get on your broom. Go and do some scouting.
We'll do Dion first. Yeah, as you scout past this corner here, you hear another one of those magic mouths go tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And you just that's it. To the west, Belnan, after a little bit of sort of rooting around, you stub your toe on probably the first major kind of thing that you found in here. Oh shit! I've just deleted the note that had all my stuff, all my notes on it. Oh god, technical difficulties.
Whilst waiting for Belnan and everyone to scout around, Pizzazz is gonna pull out a brazier ritual cost flying familiar.
Okay.
And gets a raven, and then sends it away to help scout.
There we go. Oh god. Okay, which way is it heading? Just so I'm aware.
So Belnan, who's scouting at the moment?
Belnan was headed that way.
Yeah.
Dion
I'm
was
going
headed to the north.
north for a little look.
So I need to send your Raven east, I guess.
Yeah, I'll send the Raven eastwards.
All right. After a while, the Raven flies back to you, reporting nothing. However,
Okay.
I believe I was with Belnan. So Belnan, you make your way down this tunnel, and after 50 or so feet of just you're moving silently in the darkness and the dust, you just stub your toe on just a faintest little bit of rock. As you bend down to sort of look at it in the dark, your low light, you sort of pick it up, and it's just like a chunk of rock. You can't be sure what it is in the darkness. It's like some sort of rock or crystal or something like that. But as you look further forward, you see a slightly larger clump, and this one, it's strange. It almost resembles like a figure lying down. As you get closer, you see it's not a figure per se. It's like a statue, just sort of lying on its side, one hand up, covering its face. And you see that one of the fingers on the right hand is missing. And as you stare down at the thing in your hand, you realize it is the finger that sort of slots into place here on this statue.
Very cautiously, I approach the statue then, and I would like to investigate it to see if I can tell if it is truly stone or not. But I'm doing this very cautiously, and if I get anything I don't like, I am running the fuck away from it.
It would be disadvantaged since you're in darkness.
So that's just a flat roll for me with my eyes then?
No, it'd be at disadvantage because you're in darkness.
But I've got advantage because of my...
It is pitch black. You can only see because of your dark vision. You can't see it. This is only in grayscale. So you can't... Without a light, you won't be able to detect what sort of stone this might be or anything that's going on here, I'm afraid. It would be a disadvantage if you did one roll.
I cast Mage Hand, and I get Mage Hand to go and touch it.
Okay. The Mage Hand reaches out and just sort of, it feels solid. It just feels like a crumbled statue.
And it doesn't move at all. It doesn't do anything.
Doesn't react in any way, shape, or form. And as you said, stealth ever closer. You see, sort of on pillars, you realize you're in some sort of corridor here. You see lining pillars on either side of this place, similar statues. Okay. But this one looks to have fallen off its pedestal.
Good. I'm worried about what he might have found.
Well, yeah. You're not here, so
I will be periodically asking people if
some statues, nothing to worry about. I continue, as I'm continuing onwards, just again taking it very cautiously.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, you're a cautious person. As you continue on, you just sort of notice out of the corner of your eye, just like a kind of movement. You're not entirely certain is even happening at all. And as you glance back, roll me an intelligence check, please. A history check, we'll make it.
History check. Not one of my better ones. Ooh, could be worse.
You can't be entirely certain, but you swore just for a microsecond that the statue lying on the ground had almost twisted its neck slightly so that it was looking down the corridor at you. It's imperceptible almost. Its neck looks to be in a slightly different place than it was. As you glance up at these statues, as you continue down the corridor, in fact,
I cast invisibility on myself.
That's fine. You do so. As you look around this sort of large room that you're in fact, as I just reveal the map. So, as you're in this area, just imagine that this point there is gone. This is a large 200 by 200 foot square bloom.
Cool.
And lining every sort of edge of it are more of these statues. And standing sort of right in the center, in like it's back to you almost, is a similar statue. Its arms are spread out to the side. It's difficult to see, but there's almost like the tiniest pinprick of light seemingly coming from above, which you didn't see before as you moved down this corridor. Just the tiniest pinprick of light shining down onto you something at the statue's on the statue's other side. There's like a small table or a bowl of some description that's just sort of stood on a plinth in front of this statue. The rest of them around the room are just sort of in various states of like they're blank faces, their eyes are closed, they're just sort of pointing down, just sort of gesticulating, reaching out with their arms. The rest of them are in just shadows.
Do you want to let me have a think, and you can hop to one of the others and let me kind of cinematic pause?
Of course. Let me just
kind of think about what I'll do.
Yeah, I'll just grab something from the library here, just so I know. We'll just call that statues. Groovy. So back at base, about 350 feet away. It's at this point, Pizzazz, your bird returns and reports nothing to report. Dion, would you have continued further north?
Yes.
Okay. So sort of keeping a stream of, like Chinese whispers, sort of keeping it behind you. You do notice that this tunnel does sort of move up and to the right. It seems to be the only way beyond this area. And you would have had time to sort of move up there, scout the area, be cautious. You would have sent Dangleberry up slightly just to look, would have reported nothing was there, made his way back to you. And at this point, the rest of the party now are sort of gathered up. There is still no sign of Bellman. It's been about 5 to 10 minutes, I'd say. He's just made
I'm
his way
good.
down
I
this
say, are headphones working in here? Or is there anything stopping the headphones?
Well, it's like an older sort of ham radio. There, as I mentioned, there is a lot of static from all the sort of, as Pizzazz mentioned earlier, the Arcanite in the air. Sort of, it's like that. You get the message. It comes through for sure.
Cool.
So it's like,
I see.
Are you?
I'm good.
No, it's a better signal than that. It's a better signal than that. It's like it's more of a send a copy over. I'm fine. It's all fine here. That sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Little muffled static.
Yeah, McDonald's drive-through speaking.
Can I take your order? Type stuff. You are aware, again, your footsteps as you make your way down all these corridors, as I mentioned, are not echoing in the slightest. They are oddly muffled, like you're in something of a vacuum. What are the rest of you doing as you hear again from Bellman? I'm fine. A lot of statues over. That sort of thing. What's the thoughts of the party right now?
Dion asks, did Bellman tell us what the statues were like? That they seem to be all stone.
Yeah, could I see any creatures? Sorry, I was meaning to ask and then I forgot.
No,
are there any creatures that I know what they are? What are the statues of? Are they obviously something?
You would need to. You haven't got close enough to any single statue apart from the downed one, which was just sort of lying on its back.
Okay.
Its face covered with one of its hands. You would need to get a bit closer.
I want to roll a history check to run through my mind of monsters and beasts and sort of legends. See if I can
If you remember any tales about...
I say what I do say is because I've seen this person with his hand over his face. My impression would be this has not been carved. Therefore, can anyone think of a creature that, and this is helping sort of Lan do what he's about to do? Can anyone think of a creature that might do this?
Out of character, I know what this reminds me of.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if there's anything in game that would replicate that.
It's very Methuselah, but I don't know if...
Medusa, there's Medusas in D&D.
Gorgon.
But it's not...
I was going for Weeping Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But...
Basilisk in D&D do that.
Say that again, sorry, Chris? I didn't get that.
Doesn't the Basilisk do it?
The Basilisk, yeah.
Basilisk, sorry, yeah.
Petrify. So, Lan, are you going to roll a...
Yeah, roll the history to see if I can see if I
know. Oh god,
any
12.
Beasts or creatures I remember. I'm guessing it's down to the DM now.
Yeah.
Oh no, 12. No, you.
I'm lost in birds and fairies and other magical creatures. I think I'm. My mind's just...
You're stuck in the forest.
Yeah.
Belnan, do any of the statues look scared?
I've not really... I don't know yet.
Closer.
Yeah, I've not been close enough for them, and the one that I've got close to, hands over its face, like protecting its eyes or something, maybe? Would be my best guess.
That one is, I will say, the midpoint in this tunnel. Pretty much, by the way.
Okay.
So it is about 150 feet from both parties. But Belman, in the middle of this cavernous room, there is a single one of these creatures just sort of standing there. A single mote of light, sort of coming down onto something in front of it.
Do they look like an archer or a hunter or some kinds? Because unless they are, that doesn't sound like Dion's quarry or rival.
I've still not got close enough to them, I don't know. I'd have to go closer, and I'm a bit wary.
No lines of any kinds of weapons at all that you can possibly
Still not close enough. Not close enough. If you want me to go closer, we can think about it, but I was wondering if you guys want to go and continue scouting north, and we can deal with this in a minute. I don't think this is what we're looking for, would be my guess.
I'd head back to us then. Yeah.
I'm not finished yet. I think you guys can carry on, I'll catch up.
Okay. I'm sort of questioning where I leave him by himself, or...
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
I've sort of said to go on, so
right.
I've said I think I'm good.
On
I can get myself out of here, I think.
I'm going to pass you my horn of silent alarm, so...
He's 300 feet away, 350 feet away.
Yeah. I'm not gonna...
You would need to run down the corridor and hand it over to him.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay.
I think I can extricate myself, so on you guys go.
Okay. If you feel that you can do that, shall we head more north and along the corridor?
Yeah. All right.
So
you begin making your way.
So this east passage here, is that just a dead end then?
That is a dead end, yeah.
Okay.
Completely nothing in it at all.
There is nothing in it at all. I will give you that as a freebie. We'll shift back to Bellman before you guys can get too far away from his screams, no doubt. Bellman, what would you like to do?
I think I sent you a DM.
Did you?
Unless you're not the DM.
No, that would have gone to Chris. That would have
okay, I said I cast Identify on the bow. So maybe while all that was happening, I'm hoping I would have cast that spell. I know it takes a minute, but that's what I was saying while all was happening.
What bow?
Oh, I thought you said there was a bowl with some liquid in it, no?
Oh, a bowl. Oh, you're approaching it then?
I don't really say that. Yes. Yeah, I'm still slowly... I've slowly made my way towards that middle statue. Still looking out for anything I don't like. But
Yeah,
I'm going to try and
just
touch that bowl and cast Identify on it, unless I get freaked and run away.
Yeah, you're scanning around the room, and these statues, while being eerie, they're not moving. As you look around at them all, they're just statues. They're all. You do notice, however, as you get in the darkness, as you get about 10 feet from the one by the bowl, and you're just sort of you're keeping away from it. You're moving around it, right? You're keeping like about 30 foot of distance so you can run if you get spooked. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my teleport is what I would do.
Yeah.
Teleport the feck out of here if I had to.
Yeah, and you're still invisible after all.
Yeah.
You see as you sort of move around the side of it, there's something like a pack on its back or something, like just sort of folded up, or maybe a long braid of hair or something in two sort of cascading things down its back.
Does
its
blind sight
arms
help me in this room? Actually, sorry.
Does blind sight help you?
Yeah.
It might do. There's nothing within blind sight range.
Okay. It doesn't help me get through the darkness anymore.
Is that not true sight?
True sight?
It helps you navigate more easily, but it doesn't help you see things better. At least until you sort of get round in front of the statue. So you're now about 10 foot from the bowl, and you look and you see the thin beam of light that seems to be coming from the heavens illuminates this bowl, which just seems to be filled with some sort of clear liquid. But the statue itself, you can make out its face and its sort of upper body, illuminated by even this thin sort of shaft of light in the darkness. It is made of. Oh, actually, would you have? Yeah, roll me an Arcana check, please.
All the ones I'm not good at. Oh dear.
That's okay. It was a lower DC because you've seen some before. It's Arcanite. It's a statue made of Arcanite, and as you look down at the finger in your hand, yeah, you realize it's purple Arcanite. And as you look down at the thing and then back up at the statue, you see the statue has moved and has reached towards you.
I've teleported back
Roll
60
initiative.
feet and I'm running I've run the
Roll
fuck away.
Initiative. Roll initiative. As I roll initiative for the Weeping Angels.
Yes! Surely. Sweet. So yeah, using Shadow Step, I get the fuck as far away from that one as possible.
At the start of your turn, make a Wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh my god.
As you just feel just an itch at the corner of your eye, you want to blink.
It can see me.
Saving throw, please.
It can see me.
It can see you, and it's reaching towards you.
Oof.
However, you fight off the urge to blink, and you're just looking at it. However, as you teleport away, keeping your eyes on its back, it doesn't seem to be moving. But as you look around the room, you see this room full of these purple, which you realize now, these purple Arcanite statues, these temporally locked statues, these creatures, while you look at them, are slowly beginning to move in your direction, juddering. And as you begin to just run, you turn around and look over your shoulder, and they are chasing you.
Trouble! I shoot for the headpiece. Trouble! Run the fuck away! Trouble!
Everyone else, roll initiative, please.
You made purple Arcanite Weeping Angels.
Yep.
God! a temporal Arcanite.
Oh,
it would touch anything this time.
It would be violet. Violet Arcanite, technically. It would be purplish in color.
So it's the space stuff.
It is violet is time, which is time locked.
Oh, you're evil.
The angels should have advantage because they're time. Oh, yeah, excellent. They've got awesome. Okay.
My God.
Oh,
nice.
Get rid of all that.
Oh.
Oops. Forgot about that. Oh well. Saying through this headpiece, anyone have any idea what we're going to do about these?
I've got one idea, but it's leaving a bunch of creatures to die.
Could you
long as
all?
it's not me.
Sorry, could you all drag yourselves onto the map and just sort of place yourselves in the red area there, just so you can re-add yourselves to the turn order? I'm very sorry.
All right.
This combat brought to you by not Dwarven Forge, but someone else. Brought to you by Stephen Moffat, who created the Weeping Angels.
You can change our initiative, can you? From
I'll change it
the
to
reroll.
what it was. Yeah,
sweet. Why did that not? Did it? Is that me?
So we just re-rolled the initiative so you can.
You can. Well, you can adjust your own initiatives.
Okay. And adjust that down to.
I scared myself writing this.
You click on it and then click initiative, don't you? Or do you hold shift?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, click it, then
Just click it.
initiative.
Why did it not work then? Oh, I'm on a different fucking browser. Sorry.
Jesus.
That's why.
Why are you playing over two browsers?
Because I've got different zoom levels on the different browsers, and if you've got your character sheet open and you've got the map open, it zooms at the same. If you go in the same browser, it zooms at the same limit. So I have the map quite zoomed in, and I have my character sheet quite zoomed out, so I can see lots of it.
Okay.
Who am I missing? Glack?
Black.
Yeah.
So
I am
Billman is
there.
still.
I'm on it now. I'm just.
Billman's
What was my initiative? 25. I guess I get to still use that one, don't I? Yeah. So I'm running the full.
That was your action to run
Cool.
away. Glack?
Yeah.
You on the initiative order?
Yeah, I've got 21.
Yeah, so I would have got 160 feet, I guess, wouldn't I? Because I would have dashed and moved.
160, you say? So you're approaching the statue that was on the ground that you left behind?
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Well, probably in a panic, yes. I would have been.
So, as Bellman, you realise that these statues, these violet arcanite temporal locked statues, are coming to life. The statues in the room avert their gaze and they move.
Actually, no. I guess I would have known that was still there, so I would have tried to have got roughly what I would have thought would have been halfway in between them with my movement.
Okay. What is your movement? This is very important because they
50 feet.
Right.
And then obviously dashing. So I have up to 100 feet of movement plus the 60 of the teleport.
Okay.
Hence 160 if I need to use it.
So how far are you going, please?
Halfway in between the statue on the ground and the statue behind me.
So 90 feet?
If that's halfway in between, I don't quite know where the other one is.
It's 100 feet, so yeah, it's the full 160.
Cool.
Technically,
we're kind of more.
The ones behind you, since you're not looking at them anymore, their movement speed goes up from 0.
Oh my god!
And as you glance back over your shoulder, you see the one that was guarding the bowl is right behind you and staring into your eyes, and it is horrifying. It is an angel no longer. It is some sort of horrifying aberration. Its teeth and claws bared, and it is reaching towards you again. The one on the ground.
Can I be sort of pressed against the wall then and be like trying to look in both ways at the same time?
Afraid not. because if you'll
Bellman's got a
remember,
squint.
if you'll remember, I described these walls as being lined by statues.
Shit.
However, as you glance back round, that is their turn, the ones behind you, to basically follow you, and all of them are not looking at each other, so they're essentially blind if you wanted to attack them, except the one right behind you. The one ahead of you has gotten to its feet, and it's just sort of standing there in the middle. It's not moving, but it's got one hand over its face, and it is reaching towards you with a half-broken arm. Cool. Absorbing a weeping angel. Blink pulse, temporal restrictions. Yes, okay. So, it's Glack's turn. You've heard Bellman cry the danger word. Something has happened. You're on deck.
I'm going to try and get as close as I can. So I've got 50 feet plus a dash, so 100 foot of movement, so I can move a square.
Yeah.
From where we were, so I'd imagine I'll get to here-ish, or will I get to here?
You'll get to
see down.
You'll get to there, I'll say.
Okay. And I can see down the corridor then.
Yes, you can, and you see the back of a statue just sort of standing there in the middle of the area.
Can anyone, I say through the headpieces, can anyone cast some sort of creature just to stand sentinel here?
I can make 8 beasts.
Well, that's our way out of this. If someone casts a creature and gets it to sit in this corridor,
I can.
That's our extrication out of this, I think.
I can give us.
I can have my ghouls stand there.
I was just about to say, what about Pizzazz's 2 ghouls and Dangleberry?
I can give us 8 sets of eyes to sit and watch.
Yeah. I think the more sets of eyes, the better. So any blinking is not.
Yeah, because one they will get to the blinking one, but 8 you've got to think they won't.
Yeah,
you've got to be very unlucky to get there.
That's Glack. Pizzazz, are you commanding a ghoul, or what are you doing?
Yeah, let's command the ghoul to go up and basically into the corridor and stare at the statues.
Okay, it stares into the darkness. The darkness stares back at the ghoul.
It's got dark vision.
Yeah, that's it. It can see the darkness. Cool. So essentially, is anyone doing anything apart from dashing towards Bellman? Basically.
How far are we from the corner?
I'd let you move 1 square up, so you're about 100 feet, which is why Glack basically wall ran Prince of Persia his way around that corner, so he's slightly ahead of the pack.
What's your movement on your animals?
I can cast it. I can cast it 60 feet away from me.
So you could cast and they could get around the corner.
And
you reckon?
I can conjure a bunch of cave. I'm trying to find something with dark vision and a low CR.
Spiders?
Meanwhile, that's Pizzazz. Dion, it's yourself. Are you dashing or are you waiting?
I'll dash as well.
All right. You all run back to this area here behind Glack, who's about 20 foot into the darkness of the corridor now. And now we're at Lan. Lan?
Oh, it's not a quarter.
Bellman, you're on deck.
Yeah. I'll pop a little question in the text while Lan's going through stuff.
No.
I'm just trying to find the right what level of quarter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not angle, obviously.
Who knows?
I'll conjure 6.
Blinded, stop them moving.
You'll conjure 6. What now?
8. I'm trying to figure out which one's got the best. Well, most of them got 30 feet of dark vision. Let's go for some giant lizards.
Excellent.
8 giant lizards appear 60 feet in front of wherever I can get.
Yeah.
To
They sort of materialize on the wall and on the ground around Glack, who just sort of looks around and thinks, "My brethren."
My belows.
That's a good turn. So you command them to do something?
We got 30 feet of movement, so I'm gonna send them as far as they can and tell them watch every statue.
Okay. Because they're like lizards, I'm envisioning sort of like chameleons almost, or
one eye going
two-toed
one
geckos.
way.
Yeah, they've got one eye looking at one statue, one eye looking at another statue down the hall.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I like that. Back up to Bellman.
So yeah, how far am I from the one that's between me and Crack?
About 80 feet. And Glack is about 100 feet behind it. However, lizards have just appeared and rounded the corner and are about 20 feet in front of Glack.
So I'm going to run towards the one there then, and when I get, so let's say I'm running 50 feet as my action, I then use my shadow step again to teleport the other side of it, trying as much as...
So you're running away from the one that's right behind you?
I don't think I've got a choice. Or is it going to attack me? Fuck it, yeah, I'm going to try and run away.
Can you try running away backwards?
Oh, let me just work this one out. Oh, it's a good idea, Dion.
Because that way you can see the one that's behind you at the moment.
But I don't know where the one behind me is. Would I know where the one behind me is, James? Have I seen it? Just for...
You have seen it. You know it is behind you.
Right.
I will say that you can avert your gaze from one of them this turn.
Yeah, oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Fuck it. Cape of the Mountain Bank. See you later.
All right. Way to go.
Couldn't work out how to get out of that.
Yeah. You just sort of spin the cloak around you and you hear, just as you vanish and the darkness envelops you, a kind of a...
Basically the thing whiffing
in your
off.
senses.
It farted?
No, it's well, you leave behind a smell of brimstone. It's more like an anguished sort of cry in your ear.
Okay.
It's the statues, and what can they do? A lot of them are being observed by lizards.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let me see. Yeah, they're all going to... Yeah, they're all going to run.
How are they not looking at each other, just out of interest?
They are averting their gaze from each other. That's why they weep. They are physically not looking at each other.
The angels know how to avoid looking at each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know how the Doctor Who ones do it, but I'm wondering how these were in quite a small... Well, no, it's 100 feet, isn't it? So it's not that small. Yeah, fair enough.
The rest of them dash and hide. Okay. The one in the middle of the corridor, Glack, you couldn't see because they were 80 feet. They will get a bit closer to you and sort of stand there reaching out, palm up, as if waiting for something. That's their turn. Glack, anything?
I will be walking backwards, and as I walk backwards into this part of the corridor, I'm just going to throw up the helmet of the astral self, and that gives me 120-foot vision.
Oh, yes. Okay, so you actually now see... You remember Aliens, the movie Aliens, when they're all just coming out of the walls and everything?
Yeah.
Or actually, you know what? Have you seen the Doctor Who episode with in the Matt Smith era Weeping Angels, where
Yes.
there's hundreds of them? Yeah, it's like that. There are just scores of them reaching, climbing over one another, climbing over the ground. Some of them sort of half melted away. There is one of them that's roughly about 120 feet away now, just sort of holding the bowl in its hands and looking deep into it. Or appearing to, anyway.
I think we need to destroy the bowl.
It's got its eyes closed, rather. It's got its eye closed and it's looking. I say looking. It's got its head facing the bowl. Yeah, that way.
Any thoughts on how to do it and not get close? I guess range attacks.
I do not have that kind of range, unfortunately. I think the best Black has got is 120. And that
Anything
is
else
nowhere near
this
enough.
turn? Anything else this
Deal.
turn, Black?
No, I've got nothing.
Yeah.
All right, Pizzazz.
Right, so Pizzazz will be. He would have dashed last turn as well on his broom, and dashing up again this one. So another.
Yeah, you're around the corner. Essentially, you're flying over Glack right now. You see the room is full of lizards, and you can make out on the very edge of your vision this sort of statue, just sort of standing there in the darkness, reaching for something.
How far away from me is it?
It is at the edge of your vision, so 60 feet.
Okay. No, dash. I can't really do anything anyway. So, yeah, that'd be me. I would have bonus action told the ghoul to move up more as well.
You don't have fairy fire or anything, do you? In case we need to attack them?
Nope.
Dion.
Alright, how far would I have moved up to?
You round the corner on your movement this turn. Everyone does, and everyone has dark vision except Lan.
No,
I
I've
believe
got dark vision as well.
Okay.
Because I've got goggle things.
Okay. Everyone has dark vision. So at the very edge of your vision down this corridor, there's a single statue. What would you like to do? Do you fire at it, or it's just standing there? Doesn't appear to be doing anything. Yeah.
I will fire an arrow at see if it does anything.
Okay. Yeah. Roll an attack roll.
They wouldn't be classed as celestials, though, would they?
No, I'm afraid not. These are aberrant creatures.
I thought it was a bit of a long shot, but
Sorry.
just in case, the angelic light shining down on them. Besides, you're not sorry.
Roll your attack, please. 12. Just it hits it, but pings off. Yes, is in aberration, Chris. It just pings off its because it's an alien. You know. It pings off its stony form. Its crystalline form, rather.
Got a second shot.
You got a second shot?
Yeah, I do. I'm just. Hang on a moment. Just check something.
Cool. Well, you're thinking. We'll come right back to you. Plan war. Anything to report?
I'm on the edge of its vision now as well. And the lizard.
You don't know what its vision is, but you're like you can run up to be about 60 foot away, yeah, if you wanted to be.
How far away are the lizards from him?
About 40 feet actually, since they ran up last turn. So they could get even closer if they wished.
I don't want to put them any closer than that. I want them kind of looking. They've got climbing speed, so some of them will be as far up the wall as the wall will let them to kind of cover that whole corridor.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Do we want to deal with this, or do we want this to leave my lizard friends to keep them where they are?
Leave the lizards? I mean, I don't know how we're going to deal with them.
Yeah, I think we could just get out of here. Unless we think these are the things that are chasing Dion, which I doubt.
No, it seems a bit...
I think we get out of here. I think we leave the lizards and get out of here.
I was going to try and see if my lightning arrows did anything to him.
Mm-hmm.
But if we all rather leave, what would befall of us?
We're on a bit of a clock here, and the lizards do have a lot of eyes. But if we leave any more...
They do.
If we want to leave some more eyes behind the lizards, maybe?
6 seconds.
Maybe leave your goal?
I'll leave Dangleberry and...
Yeah, you're not leaving me, pal. No. Yeah, there's no fuck. I'm not... You seen those things? Those things are fucking statues that move, man.
Yeah, you look at them, they're not going to hurt you.
Yeah, no fear. I'm staying directly behind you.
Is it worth sending a creature up the other side of one of them to see what happens when they get attacked? Just to find out. Are they doing something special that we really don't want? They might just do very weak damage. Who knows? We just don't know yet, do we?
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, you got a spare lizard. Go for it.
Yeah, because I'm not willing to do it myself, but if we could do it with something else.
Lightland said we're kind of on a time constraint here.
So let's leave these things be and try and leave.
Okay, so it's still Lan's turn. So Lan, what are you doing?
I'm heading back away from them.
Okay.
And
telling
the lizards keep sentry.
Are you still sort of keeping an eye on them? Yeah.
Yeah.
The nearest one. Okay, so you're still you can still see it. Bellman, you bamfed away. Actually, let's first, before we start a new round, Dion, were you making a second attack or what?
I will attack it again.
Great.
Normal attack.
Yeah, roll your second attack. Does hit and it lodges in. Doesn't seem to really do much at all. It definitely does as much as it would against a person, but it looks like the angel doesn't move. It doesn't feel anything. Bellman.
I'm getting out of there.
Yeah, you bamfed away. You teleported 300 odd feet away.
Yeah.
Which now I remember, actually, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw as you land, and suddenly just this arcanite dust invades your senses on the neurotoxin that you already inhaled earlier. So roll me a con save, please.
I'm back in a minute. Ooh, jeez.
Okay, yeah, you are stunned for 1 minute. You may repeat the con save at the end of your turn. So as you land, just the toxin in your brain just seems to flood your senses from the sudden magical overload of you activating this item and just inhaling the arcanite dust in the air. And you black out momentarily. It's the statues now. And it's quite interesting. At the start of their turn, I need everyone who can see them. So that is Dion, Lanwar, Glack, and Pizzazz to make a saving throw, please. A wisdom saving throw. As you all just feel sand at the corner of your eyes. Lanwar, you are fine. Pizzazz, you are less fine. You blink. You just reach up, your eyes are itchy, you blink. Glack, you also blink. Dion, last one, please. Okay, Dion makes it as well. I also need the lizards to all make it with disadvantage. Because they have one eye on two separate angels. So they're being afflicted by its gaze. So that's a fail, a fail, a fail. 8 more d20.
19 makes it, surely?
Fail. No, the 11.
Oh, it's disadvantage, so of course, yeah, apologies.
5, 4, 10, and 10. So the lizards all fail. And they all blink. And Lanwar, you were actually the furthest back. So, and the lizards were the furthest forward. So you can make out just darkness, really. The rest of you feel a breeze.
My ghoul doesn't have eyelids.
That's fair. The rest of you involuntarily blink, and before you know it, your eyes open again. The lizards have all vanished, and sort of replacing them now are just statues that have reached out to touch them. And also surrounding this sort of paneled area are yet more statues. Pizzazz, you can feel a sort of flickering in the air of just magical essence. And that purplish dust is more apparent than it was before.
Guys, get out of here now. Get out of here now.
Glack, it's your turn. Oh, and you, as the lizards all vanish, you all hear a sort of, in your head, psychically, you hear a...
Giblet.
No, Giblet's more of a... and also I wouldn't use a character that Chris has immortalized, quite frankly. Glack, it is you. The lizards have all vanished, so you are now pretty much the front line of defense here.
How close is the closest statues to me?
30 feet.
30 feet. Well, I'm going to try something as my action, which may not work, but I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use 3 charges of the Gem of Brightness for a 30-foot cone in front to try and blind all creatures within 30 foot in front of me.
I like that.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but you know, I've got a Gem of Brightness for a reason.
Since like these things, because they live in darkness, they are going to have disadvantage. Everyone who is within 30 feet of Glack also has to make it, but with advantage, I'll say, because you're more accustomed to the light, because you're going from pitch black.
Yeah, but it's a cone in front of me.
All right, then.
Literally a cone in front of me. It's not going to just be a bright flash, which would be funny. But
I read that wrong. Yeah, you all see just a Gandalf bright light moment.
You shall not pass.
So the angels rolled a 6. They rolled a 9.
Oh, they all DC 15.
And you look up at them as you sort of cast it. You blink at the start of your turn. You look up, and you see all the angels have just sort of reached their crystalline hands, and you can see now there's about maybe a dozen of them marching down the corridor towards you. they have all put their hands up in front of their faces, except the one carrying the bowl, who has looked sort of directly at this light, and seems to be almost difficult to describe, but the light seems to refract off it. And you watch as it puffs out of existence itself.
With the bowl?
Let me just roll for it. You'll want a high roll here. Unfortunately, the bowl goes with it. Wasn't a lucky roll for you. But the creature has
vanished. Why did it vanish? Sorry.
It seemed to look directly at the light and then vanish.
Oh, okay.
Pizzazz, and you just sort of back away out of the tunnel. The angels now they're all covering their eyes now.
So bonus action instructing the ghoul to essentially play sentry in the corridor, and normal movement action backing back up, and let's dash back out as well.
Yeah. Dion, you just dash away as well, as you just sort of blink again at the start of your turn, and you realize, they're all in bright light. They all can't see. Time to go.
Yeah.
You all...
I take the opportunity to fuck off.
Yeah, you all just dash away. Just for fun, I'm going to roll it. Okay. So Lan, as you begin to run away, in fact, your lizards return, all looking markedly older, like remarkably older. They reappear one round later, all looking, at a guess, you'd put about, I don't know, between 18 and 20 years older than they were when they vanished. And you watch as the few bits of damage that Dion seems to have done to the one statue the cracks in it almost seem to heal itself.
So I feel a flicker of the concentration, sort of fade for a second, then come back.
Yeah, exactly. You were maintaining concentration, but it's like they. And you've seen Mr. Brightside cast Time Stop. It has a similar sort of effect, but seems way beyond. You need to go. And it seems these things seem to feed off of, or seem to get powerful or heal by each creature that they make disappear and reappear in this way.
I will have the lizards stay within the vision of them, but just stay there.
Yeah, that's fine. You quickly have the lizards sacrifice themselves, and you yourself, the party, just peg it. Bellman in the lead, he has seen enough of this weirdness.
Nope.
And you all, as you sort of head north and kind of round that corner, that sort of chittering laugh that the angels did, that you heard inside of all your heads, you hear once more, and it just sort of eventually fades. You have
will I still feel the concentration?
Eventually they do kill them, but you get far enough away before that happens. You just
concentration for an hour. So does it fade before the hour?
Yes, it does.
How do they get past the ghouls? Or the ghoul, or is the ghoul with us?
No, the ghoul's still standing sentry.
Ghoul eventually turns up.
Because they're not going to take energy from a dead thing.
Yeah, they seem not able to. The
But
ghoul
how
eventually.
could they move if the ghoul was looking at them, though? Was my point.
The ghoul would have eventually had to make like a wisdom save or a blink.
It doesn't have any eyelids.
That was for flavor. That was for flavor.
Flavor of the natural 20.
Yeah. But you have escaped. You have gone north. And the darkness has become resolute once more. Dion, you you barely manage to pick up those boot prints again.
All right.
Leading out this way and to the north. You're fairly certain.
I tell the rest of the party that I can make out the footprints and they're going to the west.
Okay, I am done with this game of hide and seek. And I'm gonna cast Conjure Animals again, but I'm gonna conjure 8 giant elves, and they have 120 feet of darkness and have advantage on perception checks, rely on hearing or sight.
Okay. Alright. What are we doing with those?
They are spreading out
Scouting everywhere. Yeah.
Spreading out down the corridors and scouting everywhere.
My raven's going with them as going the.
They have a 60-foot fly speed.
Yeah.
As well.
Okay.
So we're just gonna stand still and let these dudes scout as much as possible. Is that the plan?
Is that your plan? To just sort of wait half an hour for them to go and then half an hour for them to come back?
Yeah, I'm gonna have them scout. And
okay.
Anyone prepare yourselves for once we need to move. Anyone got things to hasten our movement to wherever the owls spot this frankly annoying rival of yours, he says.
I didn't say it was going to be fun.
I'll eliminate part of the map. I'll eliminate part of the map, but just a fair warning. It is a maze. You do not know like what sort of direction is correct. You just know the layout of, the general layout of some of these tunnels. Now, we'll say you get that. You get there. And you get up to there.
I'm just trying to have the owls expedite our sort of...
Yeah.
I like it. We can not go up any more dead ends, which would be good. So...
There we go. We'll say that's what the owls give you. Before they have to turn around and come back.
Survivor. 2 choices, east or south. South looks like it'll wind round and maybe get us north. East will probably get us north as well at some point.
Question: how would they have seen this area?
That's a good question. Yeah. James wasn't following his maze.
How would they have seen those areas?
Yeah, can you undo them? Maybe this area and allow this area to put it back in darkness because if you follow a path,
this area,
they would have never got up there. There's no link.
What?
Is there not? Yeah, there's not.
They couldn't have got there from the ones that you've uncovered.
They would have reached the dead end.
Yeah.
There's a slight linking.
Because I couldn't reach it with the map in the current position it was in. Give me a second.
Yeah, there's...
There we go.
That don't look like they're linking paths.
Alright.
There we go. Clever owls.
Yeah, they got a wisdom of 13.
One actually brings back the good news that it's found a way back round that avoids the angels. I'll give you that much at least.
Mm-hmm.
Did they find anything else on their travels?
So we see an owl come behind us.
Tell you what, I'll roll for it. One of them found another magic mouth. The one that headed up this way.
Understands Common, Elvish, Sylvan, but don't speak them.
Yeah, the one that headed this way found another magic mouth that said, "Time fast running out."
no magic mouse in this area at all.
6 hours to go. Tick tock, tick tock.
So nothing in that northern area. They didn't. Are you saying they can't tell us, or they didn't find anything?
They didn't find anything up there.
I
guess-
think that's probably the best way to go then.
The one-
East. Yeah.
Head east.
It's
Towards the
starting
left.
to. You're starting with your party's collective intelligence and wisdom. You're starting to sort of put together. It's almost like a trail of breadcrumbs,
Mhm.
breadcrumbs that this person, whoever they are, wants you to follow. And Dion, it makes sense to you because if they're your
you broke up
rival,
there.
yeah, it makes sense to you if they're your rival or they see you as a rival. It would make sense that they would want to face you.
How long
Yeah.
were the animals out scouting for?
An hour.
Okay.
So you've got 6 hours left. You've been in a maze for 2. As you make your way, so you were heading in that direction, yeah? This
I
one?
think that's
Heading-
probably the best
heading
way to
over
go.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We hasten our way to that.
Yeah. You go around the corner, and there is only... Oh, that's the wrong tool. Yeah, you head round these corners. There are very few tracks until you reach this area here. And you hear almost a sort of... like a kind of a scuffling, like a brawling almost, like a... Just step right up, place your bets, yeah, no more bets. And here we have, etc., etc. It feels like some sort of event, like a fight's going on up in that area, in the darkness to the right and to the north.
Some kind of fight pit.
I'd say more distractions.
Could be.
Glack in particular, you hear a draconic voice. Pizzazz, you hear a gnomish voice.
Mhm.
And does anyone here speak Goblin?
I do.
Great. You hear a goblinoid voice, that distinctive sort of grating of like glass on metal coming from that direction. And the sounds you hear the sounds of like a bell going, and then just the sounds of cheers. You know, still slightly muffled. Thank you, Rob. Still slightly, no, it's fine. Still slightly muffled in this clearly magically muffled area, being that you're far away. But as you get gradually closer, it starts to get louder, and you can make out words like, "And in this corner, weighing in, and over in that corner, the undefeated. Place your bets now for the upcoming fight," etc., etc. You appear to have stumbled into some sort of fight club.
But we don't talk about it.
No, you don't talk
say
about
nothing.
it. You say nothing.
One of the fighters is a Loxodon. We don't talk about him.
Yeah, he doesn't forget about it.
How do we want to scout this? Are we sending some animals up ahead of us again? Or are we going to go invisible and have a look? What do we think?
Animals disappeared, so... And
I mean, I can send my Raven.
Go for it, I think. Yeah.
Groovy.
And I can,
do we
walk through it as well.
You want
Is it any worth me making your Raven invisible?
Then that cost you key points.
Would
No, as
they
a bard
notice
spell, I'd be
the
casting it as a
Raven?
bard spell.
Would they have noticed the Raven anyway, regardless if it was invisible, if they're concentrating on the fight?
Who knows? Are you casting invisibility? Yes, no?
Yep. I will
Yep.
spend the Silkrow and do it. Yep.
Great. You cast your spell, you send the Raven. The Raven flies along the corridor and is met by just a sort of ticket booth almost at this entrance here. You see there's no one in the queue, but it's like a sort of barred grill gate. You easily sort of flap over it. And inside, if you imagine this wall's gone. This was the best map I could find, but some of it was obviously a bit too cramped for my purpose. Of stuff along the way. Is just this underground fight club. It's a smoky sort of atmosphere. There's the heady aroma of just pipe smoke, weed smoke, coming from a large number of tables over in one corner. There are like tall halflings, short halflings. There are these stout gnomes that are wagering on the fights. There are rather, they're goblins and kobolds. Their past arguments seemingly forgotten. For the moment, it seems to be a tense sort of piece. Currently in the ring, there is a one-eyed goblin with a knife in one hand and a rope in the other, facing off against a kobold that, quite frankly, looks as if they've been through the wars. Reminds you a little of a Junkrat, but quite obviously,
I was going to say,
quite obviously, quite obviously,
that's what he's been doing.
Is a sort of a white kobold, almost albino. Their eyes are these bright blue irises, and sort of built onto their back is what appears to be some sort of musical instrument that they keep on blowing up under their arm, and it's making a terrible sort of skirling sound. And they seem to be just sort of advancing around each other in the ring, while all around them, these other short creatures. It's just kobolds drinking beer, gnomes making wagers, trading coins with the bookies that are nearby, halflings engaging in drinking contests, standing on top of each other in a coat. Yeah, it is a gang of small creatures engaging in some sort of underground fight club and taking bets on it. Just here in the middle of a maze. You don't know how they got down here. They don't seem to be either they don't seem to be aware that they're in a maze, or they don't care. Okay. But there is a stack of money by the main gate, mostly gold. There's the occasional common soul shard, and even small lumps of arcanite that someone has clearly paid in.
I feel like it should be called the Short Fuse Fight Club.
No. It's it's no, I can't call it that. That's copyrighted. But you watch as the Raven just sort of perches above the bar where
Shorty's Fight Club.
Yeah, Shorty's Fight Club. And you can see walking into the ring now as the kobold sort of lands a knockout blow with a rather large wooden bat that they were sort of keeping behind their back while they played their bagpipes. They've whacked the goblin around the face twice, knocked, teeth have gone flying, and they've claimed the victory. And the man who is clearly Shorty walks into the middle of the ring and applauds. He's a debonair halfling by any stretch of the imagination. Slicked back hair. It's black. His nose is kind of long and crooked, like it's been broken more than once, probably in a fight itself. He's got more than one gold tooth, and he's clearly got a couple of battle scars, but he plays them off well. His shirt's open, about 3 buttons too low for that any halfling should be seen in, and he picks up a large sort of wand, points it at his throat, and his voice is amplified much more than normal, and it comes out in a rather booming voice, rather impressive for a halfling, and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, and kobolds and goblins of all ages, welcome to Shorty's Fight Club. What a match that was. And now, we have something extra special for you. In this corner, we have the Kobold Brothers." And you see in one corner, sort of ambling in, is someone who looks too tall to be allowed. And then you realize, as kobold after kobold jumps out of this large trench coat, that there are 3 of them. one black, one green, and one blue. Each one sort of armed almost with a different arcane focus. One of them carries a small stick. Mounted on top of it is like a tooth. One of them carries a wand with like a jewel set into the pommel that he's holding, quite like a dagger in a downwards way. And the what's the other one? The green one has a sack around its neck that it seems to be almost playing with. It looks like it itself is made of maybe green dragon hide itself. And Shorty sort of, he claps while the kobolds soak up the attention. And in this corner, the undefeated champion, we have Big Rick. And he sort of puts his hands together as he walks away from the center of the fight. And you see the broadest halfling you have ever seen. He is wider than he is tall. And he's actually fairly tall for a halfling. Who you're actually, you know what? You're looking through the Raven's eyes, aren't you? Roll me a nature check.
All right.
Or a medicine check.
That one.
That one. Doesn't look like any halfling you've ever seen.
While this is going on, Pizzazz is just narrating. For the rest of the party.
Yeah.
How's everyone feeling about that?
Confused about this halfling.
The funny thing is, when you started describing that, I just thought of a meme that's going around. Basically, widened fucking Russian.
Putin?
Yeah, Putin basically walking forward but being ultra wide and has a weird tune going on.
He is beefy. They are bald, almost completely shaved, except for some rather thick eyebrows. They've got tattoos on both arms. There is one, as he sort of shrugs off a frankly unneeded leather vest. He sort of clenches his muscles, stretches his back, and you just see almost this dragon unfurling on his back, this tattoo. And he sort of turns around, cracks his neck to both sides, and says, "Right, time for me to keep my unbroken win streak alive. I'll take anyone on, even 3 of yous at once." The fight begins. What do the party wish to do?
Pizzazz? Hello?
Pizzazz can't actually hear.
I don't know what he's seeing, but
Well, like I say, he's narrating everything that he's seeing. He can still talk.
It's like a boxing match on radio.
You can't hear.
Yeah.
Can I go? I say we carry Pizzazz and look for more of these tracks.
Yeah, let's continue onwards. The
let's-
kobolds will win.
Let's
No
just use
problem.
Pizzazz as a ham radio.
I'm
hear about the fights.
I'm essentially deaf and blind at the moment. So you can just guide me around.
Yeah, you can still feel like
where do the
you'll
tracks
feel if
go,
they
James?
carry you.
Oh, yeah.
There are no tracks around here. That you can see. You can have another look, but you seem to sort of lose them around about, well, earlier on, quite frankly. But there might be some here.
23?
There are various small person tracks leading down to the south, but none of the creature that you were tracking before in that direction, or indeed to the north.
It seems to be more of a trail south, but that's more. And there's nothing north, as you says, but could be hiding his tracks now. I suggest north.
We're running out of map going north, but yeah, I guess we could check it out. If you actually zoom out on the map, you'll see where we are.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere, we just have no idea.
I mean, I can maybe do the owl's trick a couple more times, but
Pizzazz will snap his fingers, then snap them again, and his raven is essentially back at the pie.
Okay.
Clever trick.
You're right.
When the last thing you remember was Big Rick taking a lightning bolt to the chest, followed by some sort of poison spell and like an acid splash of some description. He cracked.
I don't think Rick's going to be undefeated for much longer.
He cracked his neck and then charged at the kobolds with just fists.
Do you
The
want
rest
me
of
to
you
send
hear
my raven north?
quite a fight.
Yeah, why don't you? I wonder if can you send the raven north and then we walk south maybe, and then if the raven finds anything, we can double back.
I could use a spell scroll and do summon a bunch of the elves again.
I mean, that did uncover quite a large part of the map.
It did.
So
did take an hour though.
It did take an hour.
Could send all the owls south, and then as they start hitting branches, it might well uncover a lot of that area.
What was the time limit for again?
Until you don't know what will happen, but if the voice is to believe, some sort of neurotoxin will spread throughout your body, doing you don't know what.
Right.
How long have we been so far? Give or take?
Just over 2 hours at this point. 2.5 nearly.
I like the owl idea. I like sending the raven north, and I like sending the owls south. So when the owls hit branching corridors, they can spread out and see what they find.
Okay, I will spend one of my spell scrolls and summon another 8 owls to essentially. I think I'll send 2 with the raven just to if it branches out for them.
Okay.
Yeah, seems fair.
While you are doing so, would you wish to engage in some mini fights?
Ooh, we win some money. I like it. There's some money to be better than this.
Mm-hmm.
Could do.
Along the corridor echoes now a great.
A great what?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Could we go and set them up and we could fight? 2 of us could pretend to fight each other, and we just win shitloads of money off them.
Almost like you have a kobold and a gnome in the party.
Yeah.
If you just want to partake in the fight club whilst we scout.
Hey, if we weren't allowed to have nachos, why would we fight?
Yeah, good point. I'm still hungry.
I mean, Pizzazz would be walking through his raven, so it would be kind of useless.
And that is how Glack wins.
Oh no, he's probably higher level than me.
Well, we can always just watch the fights to pass the time whilst I will scout.
Go and wager on the fights, that'd be quite funny. Yeah, I walk into the fight club and see what's going on.
Excellent. Thank you, Alex. You walk up to the sort of the booth, and the guy behind it says, "Hey, it's oh, I wasn't expecting that voice. Hey, it's 2 commons to get in. 3 for a big folk.
What do I get from a free commons?
You get to see all manner of people beat the shit out of each other, obviously. Is this your first time at one of these things?
Is there a free drink involved?
First drink's free, yeah.
I give him the free commons.
he stamps the back of your hand with the logo of like a wyvern.
Cool.
And he lets you in.
Cool.
Inside, you see, as I've described previously, just a smoky. Best way I can describe it to sort of movie real life. The Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie has him in a fighting ring in sort of Victorian England. It's that sort of smoky atmosphere. It's like it's clearly illegal. It's underground, or would be illegal in civilized society. It's just bare knuckle fighting. Any rules go. Right now, you're looking at a bald, short man holding one kobold above himself, while two others look to be just stabbing his kneecaps. He throws the one above his head, the blue one, out of the ring, and grabs from behind him, where it was discarded previously, some sort of wooden. It's almost like a chair, but it couldn't be a chair. It's like it's folded slightly, and he beats the what was it? The green kobold with it, and the green kobold looks out for the count at this point. There's just a black kobold left now, and the short guy's just wiping blood from the corner of his mouth and going, "See you, I've saved you to last, because you're a wee bastard," and then punches him. The kobold seems dazed. The short guy leaps at the ropes, climbs the ropes, jumps off the top rope, and diving spears the black kobold into the edge of the ring. And you see just an enormous cheer go up around the place, combined with groans from people who've obviously lost money during this fight. And Shorty re-enters the ring and says, "Well, isn't that a turn up for the Bucks? Big Rick shows he is the power once again." And more cheers and more boos. You head over to the bar and you get a drink while the next fight starts. It's less of a prestige event than the one before.
Can I look for the person who looks like they might be organising the fights and just ask them about the rules?
You just ask the barman.
Okay, that'll do.
I'll come back to that. I'm just going to see what everyone else is doing.
Yep.
Bellman has strolled towards the box, has paid the guy a few shards, and has strolled on in. And you've heard the end of what sounded to be an amazing fight.
Black, how strong are you?
Glack's pretty strong, but Glack isn't going to fight. Like, we came here to help Dion. Why? Why are we going into fight?
I'm just going for a drink while these owls find their stuff.
I mean, we could fast forward time if you want. If you just want to say you hang about and wait for the owls, and Bellman has a drink and gambles.
I'm happy to do that.
That's entirely fine.
Yeah,
I just wanted to give the option of.
I love the
stuff.
idea of a fight club, but with a neurotoxin over your head, I don't really think it'd be yay fun and games.
Does the drink I have stop this neurotoxin?
I'm thinking.
No. Afraid not.
Worth a go. Can I also? I'm going to roll. Can I roll a random fate die to see if I won or lost on my betting? I'm going to say I gambled 5 uncommons.
5 uncommons. Okay.
5 uncommons.
You need to beat.
We'll say I was going to. Yeah. Okay. Ooh.
To win, and we'll base it on how high or low you roll.
No.
Afraid you lose the 5 uncommon.
Dang it. Yeah, I've had enough of this betting market. How were the owls doing, Lan?
Does anyone else wish to do anything? You're free to gamble or have drinks or anything.
I think later. You might want to return here.
Yeah, to celebrate. Yeah.
All right. In short order, the ravens return, and the owls. Hold on, let me just Bum, 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 bum.
Let me turn on.
So mapping for dummies. Send out a bunch of owls.
I hadn't considered
a raven.
owls. I hadn't considered owls.
Especially
Damn.
their dark vision of 120.
Yeah. I hadn't considered it. In fairness, it's smart. But you're using resources, so I should reward it. And we'll say it gets up to there. There we go.
Surely they got further down this passage here in an hour.
Yeah.
Did they all die?
Oh, that's the end of the passage. It's a dead end.
Down here?
That's a dead end, like I said.
Alright, it's
Cool.
just you stop the reveal a bit short. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't get there because that's through a wall. A couple of them found more magic mouths. There is one at this intersection and one at this sort of three-way intersection here. There is also something sort of dark about this way in particular. Actually, you know what? Because we're getting close to the end, I'll do that as a reveal. Yeah, I'll say that. One of them noticed that at the end of this sort of corridor here, they sort of floated down there, looked both ways. It seemed to stretch into the darkness. However, on this wall here, there were two just portals, two sort of black voids, just holes in the rock. They couldn't see through them, so it was obviously like a must have been a magical darkness of some description. But just two holes in the rock in that on the edge there.
Okay.
We good heading down there? Any objections to sending Dion first, but heading down there? He's not looking for traps. He's looking for traps, of course.
I was planning on heading down there.
Yeah.
And checking for any sort of trails, if there is anything. So.
Trails, traps, and anything worthwhile.
All right. So you're down to 4 hours. So you're halfway through your time. As you reach that one, you hear time. No, that's not their voice. Time keeps ticking, Dion, and I grow weary. I wonder, can you pull yourself away from this opportunity of rest? Step forward and choose boon or bane.
Boon or bane?
The magic, the spell says no more. Yeah, it was step forward and choose boon or bane.
One's gonna be a boon, other is just gonna be a bane. So the portals are.
They're both gonna be banes.
Yeah, because we sort of using reverse psychology.
What's the party thinking?
Maybe it looks like a magical darkness.
It looks like a magical darkness. As you get closer, it's like we'll say you're about 50 feet away. Yeah.
Can I turn on? I'll turn on my mask of astral self again and look through the darkness because I see through magical darkness.
As you turn on your sorry, Bellman, real quick. Yes, you are. Everyone is affected by the toxin, but in different ways. As you asked. As you turn on your astral self and look into the darkness, you don't see anything beyond it. It is just a void. It's like a void space. It's a similar sort of effect that Black Arcanite has, but different somehow. You can't quite put your finger on it. You're not magically inclined.
Okay, so the question has to be, Dion, if you were setting up this kind of thing, would you go for Boon or Bane as a trap?
I should say as well. I should say as well, neither of these holes is labeled Boon nor Bane. They are just
so
two
we
holes
don't
in
know
the
which
wall.
one's which.
You don't know which one's which.
How far apart are they?
About 50 feet apart. So they're on either corner of this square here.
Each side of the room.
Yeah, each side of this large area.
Okay.
As you get closer, you see that.
I'm gonna use another one of my spell scrolls and casting daylight between them.
Okay.
To see
you cast just a big orb of daylight. How does your spell sort of manifest? What does your druidy sort of magic do? Is it like a ball of sunlight, or?
I'd say it looks more like a bunch of fireflies just coalescing into this blinding sort of bright sunlight. It's like I'm drawing sort of nature's gift in to give it light and around that area. It's 60 feet.
Yeah, as you go to summon those fireflies, just the neurotoxin, you just feel a pang of like pain in the back of your mind. And for a second, you and you alone sort of see those creatures that you've summoned just become these venomous spiders, their eyes glowing red. And you blink and you feel just in pain, and you blink and everything is fine. It is as it was. The daylight is there. It is resolute, holding fast against the darkness, but still seemingly almost muffled. Like it's mollified here.
So that's... He spent all my spell scrolls.
You see the two holes, one in each corner of the room. And also a magic mouth in between them on the far wall.
Does it speak?
Yeah, you know that they generally activate when you get within 25 feet of them. Whoever's clattering, please stop.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
So the daylight revealed the magic mouth.
Yep.
And made you hallucinate.
That was definitely strange. There seems to be another mouth there. Should we activate the damn thing?
I think so. Let's see what he's got to say this time.
Quite frankly, I want to go smash him in the face myself now.
Join the queue.
You're definitely ahead of the spear.
Pardon?
You're the head of the spear on this one.
The head of the spear?
Yes. Just go, Neil.
As you get closer to the... Just going to move on. As you get closer to the magic mouth, it activates once more and broadens into a smile. And you hear that familiar voice once more. Welcome, Dion. It is your lucky day. In this area you will find my one and only gift to you, because I respect your talent so much. In one of these portals, there is a single dose of the cure, you or one of your allies will be free from the neurotoxin now gripping their systems. You and they must have by now realized that it affects their magical abilities. The longer it stays in their system, the more dampened their magical abilities become. They will find their ability to maintain concentration lessened. Their ability to essentially your to hit and DCs will decrease by a certain number the longer you have it in your systems. You have a chance. You can reach into one of the holes and pull out the cure. Or you can reach into one of the holes and lose something. It is up to you. Boon or bane, gain or loss. But who will reach in, and what will you lose? I'm waiting, Dion. And the mouth sort of clicks off. It's magic used.
Pizzazz will instruct his ghoul to reach through one of the portals.
Which one?
Left one.
All right. Roll me a d20, please.
We can get that. I can maybe make a copy of it.
Okay. As the ghoul reaches in, it seems to sort of shrug at you. Doesn't seem to feel anything inside.
Hmm.
And then, like, do you do anything else?
I'll tell him to go through and look for an antidote then.
Okay. It sort of continues reaching in, keeps on reaching in, and then eventually ducks its head underneath the sort of lip and begins to crawl through the hole.
And I'll send my raven through the other one.
Okay. As your raven gets closer to the other one, you feel like, does your ghoul have any sort of connection with you?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. You send your raven flying through the portal to the south, I believe it was. And it sort of flaps through and finds itself in a small room, dimly lit. There are actual torches in this room now. The sort of film, the black sort of film on the wall seemed to be a kind of illusion, but strange, like almost like the symbiote from Venom, like it was poking itself through that, like a veil, like it passed through a veil, and it finds itself in this warm space. In one corner, there's like a small crystal decanter on top of a table. There are comfortable armchairs. It's like a small, well-tended cottage. It is cozy. It is nice. There is no sign of any antidote in here, though, that you can tell.
Even what's in the decanter then? Would I need to do an investigation on
You'd
that?
probably need to look in and use a brewer's supplies if you have that.
I've not got that.
Or alchemy tools.
Alchemy tools right here. And I'm an alchemist.
Takes a couple of minutes. Your ghoul has not reappeared yet.
I think the ghoul might be dead. Well, dead, rather than undead.
Yes, that might be the bane and loss.
Yeah, probably. This other room's got a quite a smoking room sort of library feel to it. Should we go through there?
Sounds
Is there anything in the room that
A couple of
looks-
armchairs, a table, decanter with what looks like some kind of alcohol.
Yeah, it's like a granny's sort of front room type situation. Yeah.
A couple of doilies.
I could maybe find out what's in the decanter, but beyond that, I'm not sure how well I trust the.
Oh, it's definitely a trap.
Yes, it seems a bit too pleasant, and I don't think this guy is very pleasant from his demeanor. And
I think Belnan would follow the ghoul.
Belnan's going to follow the ghoul.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm happy to go through a different portal than everyone else.
Are you just are you like poking a stick through it first, or your hand, or reaching through, or what?
I guess I'll poke my hand through first.
Okay.
Does anything happen to said hand?
No, hold on. Let me see. Okay. All right. As you reach your hand through this sort of plane of darkness, you feel, as Pizzazz described when he was in his raven's senses and heading through the sort of veil, you feel like it sort of touched your hand and engulf it. It's not unpleasant. Well, it is kind of unpleasant. It's not cold or hot. It's kind of nothing really. And you just sort of feel there, and it's just like a veil, like a tattered veil.
Would you describe it as like putting your hand inside a beanbag?
Yeah, actually, yeah, kinda. I was thinking more like silly putty, but yeah, yeah, it's kind of like putting your hand inside a beanbag.
So what I'm feeling, and I guess I'm describing it, is what the Raven felt going through the other portal.
Yeah, kinda. And then you feel just a clenching, and you take 19 points of force damage, and you wrench back, and you see your hand is not there anymore. Your hand has just been shorn off at the wrist, where it went through this 2-foot wide black sphere. And as you roll on the floor, clutching your hand in pain, perhaps worse is what is coming out of the sphere in front of you. A gaunt, 6 or 7 foot tall mass, like a living sort of veil. Its skin, the skin that you can see beneath its black tattered hood, is necrotized, just sort of scabbed and peeling, flaking off. And its eyes are horrible, just dark holes of just starlight. And it is, as it looks at you with just its mouth agape, reminding you so much of the sphere that you've just poked your hand through and lost. It rends in the air, a horrible, moaning scream.
Oops.
And that's what we're going to pick up next week.
Yep.
Oh, how many fucking different choices did you give us there? The king of temptation here for DM.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Well, everyone, that's all from Ben, Bob, Neil, TR, Alex, and myself. And until next week, be careful of what holes you stick your hand into. And be awesome to one another. Thank you and good night.
Night.
Cheers.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.